They lost Demas.
They lost
They
Demas.
lost him. They got Moshe Schwartz though, right? But that was like
Mm-hmm.
obviously during the season, but they still
Mm-hmm.
got him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's one more, but I can't think of who it is right now.
Yeah, they may have another one. They've had a few in the last couple years as well. They got Joey Prada a couple years ago. Who else did they get? One of the Moors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've had some good success in there. But anyway,
Oh.
that's the news. That's the stuff that we saw. But let's talk seniors because, like I said, I think we're gonna get through that pretty
All right,
quick.
seniors.
There
I
are a
will
few.
say I did not. I watched the least of the seniors. I was stuck up with the cadets and juniors all weekend, but I watched a few matches. So let's do it.
Let's do it. There were a handful of results that were pretty interesting. Some things
Mm-hmm.
to kind of keep an eye on. And Kozak, you were there the whole time, so I know you were locked in. 57. Probably nothing that's going to shift the landscape at that weight class went on, right? I mean, it was
Yeah.
No.
Matt Ramos got it done in the finals. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, nothing too crazy, right?
Yeah, I think
No.
maybe you look at it from if you're a fan of Matt Ramos, like he looks good in
Yes.
the last month or two. He had a pretty good NCAA tournament, almost all Americans, and then is a much better freestyle wrestler. So it's kind of good to see him have some success. But yeah, I think the more notable weights were 70 and 79, but 61 had some interesting results too, with Josh Rodriguez beating Tyler Graff, and then Nico Megaludis still looking pretty good with wins over Seth Gross, and then in the finals over Rodriguez.
Nico looked good at 61, got it done. Do you give him any shot against Dayton Fix or even a chance to make it through the World Team Trials?
I
Yeah,
think he has an okay shot at making it through the World Team Trials, but as far as being Dayton fixed, I just don't see it. I think it's gonna be really tough for him.
yeah. I think it's a closest, match, like 2, 3, 4 point match, but never really in danger for Fix. But I think we got to talk about Jesse Mendez too. At 61, he places, so he's gonna maybe go to the World Team Trials. Is that what we think?
I would guess. I mean, I would think so. The
Because
one,
it's a different date than the juniors is June 5 or
It's like
something
2 weeks
that.
before
yep,
juniors. Yeah.
juniors starts the same day as the first Final X in Stillwater. So yeah, juniors would be in Ohio, and but yeah, seniors are coming up in May. So I think
You know
so.
who we'd
They're
like to see in here though?
who?
We already talked about him.
Oh, RBY. Yeah,
RBY.
of course.
I mean, why can't we get him to enter the trials?
Maybe we can. I don't know.
I mean, he said he's gonna wrestle again. I don't know. He doesn't seem that busy. It's May. He, probably done with some classes. Probably got his degree. I don't know. Why don't you just show up and wrestle in a tournament?
Why not?
And that's what he was saying after this season ended. Like people were saying, "Hey, what are you trying to do next? You want to go into fighting?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to go fighting eventually, but I'm gonna wrestle through 2024, win some world
Mm-hmm.
Olympic medals, and then go." So it's like that seemed to be on his radar, but I don't know if it's gonna be this year or not.
Yeah, I would love to see him. That'd be fun to see for sure. But yeah, you got to think Nico Megaludis is definitely. I mean, he won the field that included most of these other World Team Trials qualifiers. So he could
Where
make it
can
to
I
Final X.
find? Do you guys have senior men's rankings? I see the World Championship Internationals, but do you guys have United States men's freestyle rankings? So I can
They
see
have
who
they,
wasn't here.
they haven't been updated in like a really long time. They're JDs, and he was going to update them right after the U.S. Open. Sounds
Uh,
like he didn't do that. Maybe that's why he was up all night in Las Vegas. Was that he was updating the men's freestyle.
That's what he was doing. Yeah, everybody else, he was on the strip. He came with everybody, but he was working the
Brought
whole
his
time,
computer.
just grinding. Yeah.
fixing the rankings.
yeah.
Um,
So who
But-
who else is there that did not wrestle at the Open that could wrestle at trials?
At 61,
At 61, yes.
I mean, you could say NATO. I don't know if he's going to go 57 or 61.
I think 57 for NATO.
Carter Young.
yeah.
Yeah.
So other guys that are qualified via NCAAs that weren't at the Open that could be there. We could see Nick Suriano, 57 or 61. Pat Glory, RBY, Austin DeSanto. All those guys would be pretty fun.
Oh, okay. I got the qualifier list here. Nice. Let's go RBY.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go
let's-
DeSanto. Get in this bracket.
For sure. Jesse Mendez, I mean, it was interesting to see him at the senior level. He got the win over Josh Kramer on the backside, and it was a really dramatic match. Was losing late. Secured the win. He lost to Daniel DeShazer on the front side of the bracket, and that was a match where Mendez got the first 2 takedowns of the match, and then DeShazer kind of seemed to figure him out, and once he did, he was able to get it done. We would have seen that match for third, but
so many forfeits on the backside. Good God.
So many forfeits, and those I think we expected that, especially this year. It was a qualifier, and if you're top 7, you're in. So anybody that's in that consolation semi, if they don't, if they're not feeling like wrestling,
it's so bad though. That bracket when what was it, Saturday morning or whichever morning it was, and you could look at the round prior to the round happening on Flow Arena. Bro, it was like 60% forfeits. It was like victory, injury, victory, injury, victory, injury, victory, injury. It was like, holy man, what matches are even happening here?
Yeah. I wonder how much, so a couple of the guys that were on the backside of that bracket at 61 were the same guys that lost to Carter Young in August at the trials. And so, I wonder if there's any part of them as like, well, why did I do that? Why did I wrestle if I wasn't all the way ready or locked in or whatever?
Yeah.
Seth Gross, Tyler Graff, those are both guys that Carter Young beat, and they were in Jesse Mendez way. So it was like, all right, we're going to see him kind of in almost a 1-to-1 comparison situation from Carter Young's path last year. So I don't know. I wonder if that was part of their decision, but as a result, it's like we don't get nearly as many data points for Mendez at the senior level. But we could at the trials, so hopefully we will.
Yeah, this is another place where I bet they don't, but they should, as we talk about for NCAs, punish them for bad placement because they don't wrestle.
Yeah, they could, but how would they punish them? The only thing they do is give them a lower seed, and I think most of these guys.
That's what I'm saying, lower seed.
I think in the World Team trials, especially at 61, I don't know how much it matters to any of these guys to be the 1 seed in this field. There's not. I don't know. There's nothing that if you're Seth Gross or Tyler Graff, I don't think there's anybody maybe other than Nico that you're trying to avoid. So I don't know.
Should we talk about Kendrick Maple?
Kendrick Maple is
right.
He's back. He looks incredible.
65
kilos. He won the whole thing. And you were saying this morning, Kozak, he just made it look way too easy.
Yeah, it's like what he did to Luke Pletcher and Kolodzik in the finals. Like, what in the world? Like, I know, and you said, like, man, that's how he's always looked. But he looked like he was just, I don't know, just feeling himself out there. Ben, do you think he can challenge the top 3 at this weight? Nick Lee, Yanni, Joey McKenna?
Yes, I think so. Oliver's obviously out. He's going up weight class. Yeah, I don't see why he can't wrestle with those dudes. Henderson wrestles with those guys pretty competitively. And Henderson didn't make the finals here. He got tech faulted by Matt Kolodzik actually, and Maple gave Kolodzik the business pretty damn quick.
61 was a weight where I don't think seeds are going to matter all that much. 65, I think they definitely will. Kendrick Maple will be the 1 seed because he won this tournament, right?
Yeah. So then the question is, what do you do for 2, 3, 4? Because Nick Lee beat Yanni at Olympic trials, but didn't wrestle at all at World Team trials. And so then you have Joey McKenna has a win over Yanni in the last year, but then Yanni makes the team in 2021. So do you go Kendrick, Yanni, Joey McKenna, Nick Lee, or does Nick Lee go ahead of Yanni because of the Olympic trials win?
I have no idea, but if you're Kendrick Maple, who do you want on your side? Which of those 3 guys is the best matchup for Kendrick? I don't know. We got a highlight on the screen right now.
I don't know either.
That's tough. I don't know.
I feel like you have to almost assuredly give Yanni the 2 seed just because he's the returning World Team member.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like a win.
He made the World Team. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like a win over Yanni from Olympic trials gives Nick Lee that boost. But maybe it could give him the boost over McKenna. I'm not sure. So I think the real question is going to be the 3-4 with McKenna and Nick Lee because they haven't wrestled in the last, year in freestyle.
Kendrick Maple. Who do you, what does a match look like between Kendrick Maple and Nick Lee, if that's how it goes.
I was thinking Kendrick and Yanni looks like a lot of fun to me.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think with both Nick Lee and with Kendrick Maple, they haven't wrestled a ton of freestyle. Like Nick Lee had a really good Olympic trials, but it's like that was his one freestyle tournament in the last 2 years. And then the same thing with Kendrick Maple. Like, when was the last time he wrestled before this in freestyle?
It's been a while.
Yeah. 4 years?
Yeah.
2018? Is that it?
Yeah, he was at the 2019 Senior Nationals in Texas.
Okay.
I do remember that. And I can't remember how he did. It was not nearly, it wasn't as good as this. But yeah, so really, I don't know. That's a big story to follow. Kendrick Maple said he is going to go to the trials. I know that was a question last week. If he wins, will he go? And they asked him that question a couple times in the post-match interview. And eventually, finally, he said, yes. All right, I'm in. So Kendrick Maple back in the mix. He's a real factor. Every time he's competed, he has been. So that would be something to see him in Final X. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. 70
awesome.
70 kg, Alec Pantaleo beat Jordan Oliver in the finals. He's kind of figured that matchup out.
Yeah, they've wrestled 3 times, and Jordan Oliver's never got a takedown on him, right?
Jeez, that's a stat right there.
Yeah, I mean, you feel good about him moving forward with Pantaleo over Oliver, but then it kind of becomes a game of matchups because you still have Ryan Deacon and Zane Rutherford out there. So Pantaleo's never beaten Zane, and Jo seems to have Zane's number. So it's like, I think it really does come down to some matchups.
Hold on. So if with the Final X, if they did not world medal, then the U.S. Open doesn't give them the Final X sit out?
Not this year. And that's why the participation in the U.S. Open was a little down in terms of the top level, right? It's because there was nobody sitting and waiting after winning the U.S. Open.
Yeah, so I thought they still got, but then obviously in whatever 6 of the weight classes, obviously the Final X participants already determined. So I guess that was what I figured, that the participation was not good at those weight classes, but like at 70 and 79, well, 79's got a world medal, 70. It looks pretty good. And so I actually thought these guys sat out till Final X. So it just gives them good seating. That's kind of lame.
Yep. Yeah, that's why. I mean, look back at U.S. Open from 2018 and 19 when it did give the Final X spot, and you got guys like Kyle Dake and David Taylor and Jaden Cox, and just didn't have that this year. And the match that's on the screen right now is Alec Pantaleo, Luka Wick, and this is a good illustration of why these matchups matter. It's not like Pantaleo is completely unstoppable. There are certain matchups where guys can score. Luka Wick was up. I mean, he's ended up getting teched in the end, but if he could have stayed solid in those positions after taking a lead, it's a guy that showed a little bit of a template for how to put the points on the board.
Yeah, and even how things are domestically at 70 is actually a good illustration of how they are internationally, because there's no, like, with Russia not there, there's no, like, clear guy who's just this incredible favorite. Like Gadzhiev was the winner last year, and Gadzhiev is a guy who's as basic as they come, right? He's a guy who just like kind of holds position, plays the step out game. So really, when I look at 70, I think about who can do the best at the world level, and I think, in my opinion, I think Deacon is somebody, if he can make the weight and be effective, I think with his skill set, I think he might be our best shot of medaling. And that's just kind of my opinion. I think Pantaleo can be someone who could medal, or he could also be a guy to go 1-1, because sometimes he can be matchup dependent. Just with getting to his offense and stuff.
He's got Patel's
the other big upset was to me was Zap over Sasso. Like, who saw that one coming?
Yeah, and Zap didn't he beat Ashnall too?
Oh, he did. Yeah, on the front side, which is like, what the heck, Doug Zap? Because I mean, he had an okay college year, but it wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah. And then his match with Pantaleo was a 1-point match, 3-2. So he looked really good, and also showed he and Luka Wick both. It's like, all right, Pantaleo, the field is closer to him than the one sees at some other weights. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that one plays out. 74
He was
kilos.
1-2
Oh,
at
go ahead.
NCAAs. Just like
Zap was 1-2.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, his big win this year was Humphreys, and then it was a match where Humphreys was up, Zap came back. It was early. I think it was at the Journeyman event in like November.
Yep.
And then yeah, from there it was good, solid year, but nothing that would predict these kinds of upsets.
Mm-hmm.
74, Jason Nolf won the bracket. Nothing else too notable.
Non-competitive, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing,
One seed
nothing
for
even
him.
close.
Nothing close. 79, some interesting stuff. McFadden had wild semi and finals matches. He beat Vincenzo Joseph. Vincenzo Joseph was in a crazy match with Daringer, so that was wild. And then Imar not qualified. This weight we expected to be really good, and it had maybe more storylines than any other weight class.
Wait, Imar didn't qualify? I missed this. Holy moly.
Yeah, he lost in the quarters to McFadden. He got pinned with 1 second left in the first period, and then he drops down, and in the match to place, he forfeited to Thompson.
Wait, but hold on. Wasn't the Consi round of 2, which is like the blood round to place, wasn't that where they weighed in, or was it the next round?
No, yeah, you're right.
Just didn't weigh in.
He wrestled, won, and then he
what?
forfeited to 8th, and the top 7 qualify.
Wow, what's the explanation here?
And maybe he's always wanted to go to Atlantic City, and he wants to get to the last chance qualifier. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say here. 'Cause I figured when I saw that, I figured that he just didn't weigh in, like a lot of people didn't weigh in. But then, yeah, when I look at this, I'm like, oh, wait, but the weigh-in was after this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thought top 8 qualified. Clerical error there, but I don't know. I'm not sure. And even in the match, the match against McFadden, he was winning the match. He was kind of controlling it. They got caught in a scramble. He just held on to the leg a little bit too long, and McFadden.
That's kind of what McFadden does a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just figures it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean I think we should talk about the Vincenzo Joseph McFadden final. Like maybe we played. Do we have the scoring highlights up from that? Because McFadden was he was pretty much knocked out.
I thought he was done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he
I
may
missed
have.
this.
Or any of that
He may have said,
and he beats Alex.
He was knocked out or close to
His
it.
neck. He said his neck was pretty jacked up.
Yeah, there's a Tony Rotundo picture that pretty clearly shows how bad.
I think he said Slay told him in the corner, "You could be sore tomorrow." It's like, yeah, okay, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match was really incredible. Probably the match of the finals, just with how it unfolded, and then when the knockout came, and then how he got up and wrestled after it. It was really incredible.
Oh my goodness, that was 2 for him. Wow, I like that. That's old Dylan Ness technique right there.
Mm-hmm. Is this the knock?
No, this isn't it. It was in the second period. So this is the score. Right at the end of the first, they exchanged twos.
That's where McFadden just keeps wrestling in so many situations, and that's why he's so good at scoring points off people aren't expecting it.
Yeah, he really is.
Here it is. This is the knockout.
Oh, good God.
He said that the weight of both of them went right on the neck. He says neck just took everything there.
Oh, ouch. That's not good.
Yeah. Slow it down. Boom.
Oh.
Man.
Wow. Yeah, I think maybe he thought he could horse his hips down, but I don't know if he knows this, but he's got some pretty strong hips, Mr. Vincenzo Joseph does.
Chenzo fights this position for a really long time, and it for a while I was like, no, McFadden's not gonna get it, and then he just keeps going.
Oh, he shouldn't have put his head under the leg there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a. So wait, we didn't even mention though. 'Cause I think I maybe mention it, but more surprising was Vincenzo beating Dieringer, because Dieringer's a guy who we've said, hey, if Jordan Burroughs wasn't the representative, we could definitely see Derringer getting a world medal, and then he loses to the 8th seed Vincenzo Joseph.
And a guy that was not nobody expected to be wrestling in this event until a week before or something. That match was Derringer was he was pushing and pushing and pushing so much, and that's kind of right in Chenzo's wheelhouse. He's not afraid to go lat drop. Oh, there's that Rotundo picture of McFadden's neck.
Ouch. Not good.
That's not how a neck should look most of the time.
Yeah, I don't. My opinion of Derringer really doesn't change too much after that match, and taking nothing away from Vincenzo, but like I feel like it was just really poor match tactics by Derringer. He's up 3, 30 seconds to go. He's trying to get a step out, which he doesn't really need, and he's just running in, and Vincenzo plants him and kind of lat drops him over for 4. I still think Derringer's right up there with top 10 in the world, and I think Joseph. I think he looked really good. There was conversation after. I don't know if somebody interviewed him or if it was just talking, but like trying to decide. All right, am I going to wrestle continuing forward here? Am I going to make a run at this, or is it just going to be something like, all right, that was cool. I'll wrestle in trials, kind of see what happens. But I would like to see him continue wrestling. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's got 3 weeks till trials. It's not like I don't want to say you keep any preparation that time, but it's not like you're getting like a full training camp in or anything. You're going to train for 2.5 weeks, and then you're going to fly over to Ohio and try to get it on. Or is that Ohio?
Yeah.
The hell is it?
Trials?
Trials are in Iowa.
Yeah. Iowa. Juniors is in Ohio.
I think what's really impressive about Chenzo is he said he only trained specifically for a month for this, and he didn't really cut much weight at all either. So he's probably, I mean, what do you think he's walking around at? Low 180s. He didn't look big at all.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I think that's what's super impressive, the way he wrestled, with only minimal training and stuff. So, yeah.
His style's entertaining. Every tournament he's in is a good thing. He's a value add for sure. That quarterfinal was nuts, and then the semi between Marsteller and McFadden was 21 points on the board. McFadden scored again like super late to win. I think with 4 seconds left.
I think he was down 8-2 with just over a minute to go. McFadden was against Marsteller.
Yeah. Yes,
came back and won 11-10. So.
Yeah, that was I can't remember if it's Connor or Tyler, one of our new video guys put together a pretty cool highlight of that match. It was McFadden so much passion afterwards. He was pumped up, man. So yeah, great tournament for McFadden. That match was really fun. Check it out. 79.
So 79 is obviously Burroughs to Final X. Who are the next best guys? I mean, is Starocki going to wrestle at the trials? Because
I think so. Yeah, I think he is. And immediately after, I think the open finals, or while it was going on, he's like, "I want them all," or like they're all going down. He tweeted that out. So he's been tweeting out some pretty bold things lately, making it sound like he's coming for the spot.
Nice. 74 is pretty thin then too, because obviously Keegan's not wrestling, so really Wick is going to be back down at 74. Nolf is there. Kyle Dake to Final X, and then when you look at the cast of characters after this, Josh Shields, Colin Purinton, Pete Pappas, Andrew Sigiglia, Tommy Gant, and Josh Ogunsanya, and maybe Shane Griffith, but Shane Griffith's been done almost no freestyle. That's like I feel like that's as weak as 74 has been in a really long time. I feel like the obvious final is Nolf and Wick.
What if David Carr's in the mix? What can he do?
Well, they have him at I guess they got him listed at 70.
But
didn't Carr and Evan wrestle? Didn't they all? Where did they wrestle at?
They wrestled at Olympic Trials.
Olympic Trials.
And Evan won.
Okay.
Evan won pretty clean.
Yeah. I think it's Nolf challenging Dake, and we saw that at Olympic Trials. I don't think it looks like that again if they wrestle.
I would agree. I was very surprised by that result.
Yeah, that was just incredible. I think Nolf has gotten better in the last year. I think he's put on some good size, and he's wrestled. I mean, he's wrestled a lot. He went to Urigan. You saw him at the Open, so I think he's making an effort to get better here.
Who did he beat? Sabalov jersey?
He beat Sabalov, and he beat Bitsoev, who Bitsoev was the world bronze medalist from last year.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a little bit confused. Why? So I'm looking at the USA Wrestling document. It's on the mat. Why is that third placer included? Is that a new thing?
Yeah, they included top 3. You mean at NCAAs?
Yeah. And when did they decide to do that?
This year. That was a new procedure this year. And I heard an interview with Bill Zadek, Kyle Klingman conducted, and he asked Bill, like, hey, do you like this qualifying process for the trials? And he said that they want to keep the process fresh, and that every year they're evaluating what should we do, what can we do, and I think one of the reasons they wanted to include the third placers was just they wanted a few more guys in the mix. I wonder if they're thinking back to guys like Thomas Gilman who got upset, and then he did qualify through the last chance, but if he hadn't, then that's a medalist we potentially miss out on. David Carr would have been in that situation this year where got upset, but he came all the way back. And so I wonder if that's partly what they're thinking, is just let's not let one upset keep a really good guy out. But I don't know. It's new this year.
Yeah, but I did hear Carr and Brooks, Aaron Brooks, were planning on going to World Team Trials. So
interesting.
Aaron Brooks
at 86, I would imagine.
86 is actually kind of, well, I guess I don't know who's going to show up. I mean, is Zahid going to show up? Is Bo going to show up? Is Miles is probably. Mark Hall is obviously.
What?
Brooks could do some damage.
So has Jaden confirmed he's going to Final X?
Good question.
I was just thinking about between 86 and 92. Do we see guys maybe go up to 92? But 86 is going to be really weird to seed at World Team Trials as well, because you have Mark Hall, and then you have Zahid, Aaron Brooks, Trent Hidley, Miles Martin, Nate Jackson.
Yeah, Trent wrestled 92 before, so maybe he goes up to 92.
Yeah. So 86 will be interesting at Trials. I think Zahid is the biggest challenger to David Taylor, but you could certainly see Aaron Brooks or even Hidley kind of make their way in there.
For sure.
Let's see. Right now, Jaden is not declared for Final X.
He's wrestling.
I thought it was just Gable.
He's wrestling 92 at Pan Am's, but I don't think he's declared yet.
If he's wrestling 92 at Pan Am's, then
there's a bad joke to make here. I love Jaden, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
About being on time.
Yeah. Yes. I also don't see Kyle Snyder on the list right now. But I thought I thought I had seen that.
Yeah, he's in.
I thought I had seen that.
He's in. Yeah.
So there's a list on that. So when Kayla declared yesterday, they published a list of everyone who's declared so far, and that is, Snyder's not listed, but I remember seeing that.
Jaden. Well, I thought Snyder committed already.
I think he has.
I'm pretty sure I wrote that up, so I'm almost positive that he did.
Okay.
Not Jaden. Jaden needs to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So okay, so
we're still good internet service in Acapulco.
Jaden and Gable.
Yeah.
Need to find out. All right. 86 kilos. Mark Hall beat Marcus Coleman, so Mark Hall is going to be the 1 seed, and 86 kilos is the bracket where, all those hypothetical Penn State tournaments everyone wants. I mean, if everybody shows up, it could be just that. If Aaron Brooks is in the mix, Bo Nichols qualified. I don't think he's going to go, but he is qualified.
I don't think so. He was out there this weekend coaching Jason Nolf, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Mark Hall, obviously, winner gets David Taylor. So all those Penn State guys. Aaron Brooks, if he's in, how do you think he does?
Well, we saw him
this U.S. Open bracket was so bad. Oh my God, I'm looking at it. Like, what is going on here, guys?
Yeah. We saw Brooks at Olympic trials, and he lost to. Who did he lose to? He lost to Downey, right? And he lost to Zahid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got teched by Downey, which is
that one surprised me big time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see Aaron Brooks at 86? Do you see them third behind Zahid, or do you see them like fifth or sixth behind Hidley?
Who are you saying? Mark Hall's number one?
Mark Hall's one, Zahid will be two, and then you got Hidley, Miles Martin, Nate Jackson could be at 86. So he could go anywhere from 3 to 6.
Yeah. I'm not expert on that one.
Is Parker Keckheisen going to wrestle the trials?
I have not asked him. I'm going to ask him right now.
Ooh. Live on the air. Pretty interesting to see. But, yeah, I don't know. It is Hall at the 1. That is a big advantage for him, separating him from Zahid. And who knows who else. But kind of hope that, I don't know. I would like the bracket that gives us the most Penn State versus Penn State matchups, just because I'm curious to see those.
Which Penn State besides Aaron Brooks, Mark Hall, Bo is not wrestling.
Bo's not going to wrestle. He's qualified, but
he ain't wrestling.
No.
Yeah. And then I was David sitting out till the finals.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else, right? Unless, I guess if Staraki were to bump up, but I don't foresee that happening.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he's going 79.
Or maybe Ed Ruth comes out of retirement.
Ed Ruth.
Why not?
Kale throws his name in there.
Kale Sanders.
Casey. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think anything too interesting happened at 92 or 97. Cam Caffey won at 92. He beat Isaac Trumbull in the finals.
It was a good finals match.
Yeah.
Go watch that.
Mike Mock beat Joe Rao in the finals at 97. But those two weight classes were not super deep.
Joe Rao retired from Greco. Now he's wrestling freestyle.
The really interesting thing in that match is that he was pretty close with Mike Mock, but John Stefanowicz was handing out the awards.
Yeah.
What if Joe Rao would have won that bracket, and then John Stefanowicz had to give him his stop sign? That would have been an awkward moment.
Yeah. You think he tries to head bench him?
I mean, yeah, he might. I don't think they have a good relationship.
Yeah.
But we didn't see it. We'll never know. Heavyweight, Hayden Zilmer beat Dom Bradley. And apparently that's just how it's going to go from now on, huh?
In a 1-point match. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zilmer the one seed at the World Team Trials. That's great. Good for him.
So, and we don't know about Gable. Is there anyone else? Well, obviously Nick, Mason. Mason, does he have his injury issues taken care of or no?
I don't know. I'd kind of be surprised. It sounded like something fairly extensive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
We got to connect at Michigan. We can ask.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else that we should talk about from the seniors? That's good, right? We can move on.
That's it. Some of those brackets were honestly they need to. I think they need to think really hard about what they're doing to get such weak U.S. Open brackets, and it's. I think it needs maybe a spot directly to Final X, and in the weights where Final X is already qualified, have some type of really strong seating incentive, because some of those brackets are really bad.
The incentive, I think, for weights previously that where there was somebody sitting in Final X was that you got to sit in the finals of the World Team Trials. You're in the best of 3. So even that's better than just a 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the incentive they gave to the juniors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I would like to hear, the reasoning behind why take away that incentive. Because we saw it, and you were talking about it before the show, was looking back at old, like 2017 or 2018 U.S. Opens. You saw guys like, who was there? Like David Taylor was at the U.S. Open.
Yeah. So 2019, here are your U.S. Open champs. Dayton Fix, Cody Brewer, Yanni, Deacon, Imar, Deringer, Downey, Nickel, Gadsden, Kuhn. That's good. And then 2019, Tony Ramos, Joe Colon, Joey McKenna, Jason Chamberlain, Imar, Dake, Taylor, Jaden, Austin Schaefer, Adam Kuhn. A lot of medalists in there, and like world teamers and the top of the U.S. at the time. So pretty different from this group.
That's really
And then like champs to champs is one thing, but then you look at places 5 through 8.
That's where it gets
yes.
ugly this year.
Yeah.
I mean, even second place. Look, read the second place results from this. Hold on, I'll do it. Dang it all, Flow Arena. When you go to the results page and you have to click all those little tabs and it resets you.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
All right, I got the second placers for you.
All right, go.
Anthony Moulton, Josh Rodriguez, Matt Kolodzik, Jordan Oliver, Josh Shields, Vincenzo Joseph, Marcus Coleman, Isaac Trumbull, Joe Rao, Don Bradley.
How many of them are not
rough.
all Americans?
Yeah.
Second place. Yeah.
Quite a few. So you're right. That's something they got to figure out. But yeah, how do you make that better? And I don't know. We talked to Joey McKenna about it at the ballpark, and that was kind of what he was saying is like, if there's no Final X, I don't really know. He's like, I could go do a tournament overseas. I could have other options if I want matches.
Yeah.
But at juniors, they did have that incentive. Winners sit in the best of 3 finals. I don't know that everybody knew that. I think Nick Feldman's post-match interview, JD asked him how he was feeling about sitting in the best of 3 finals. He's like, oh, really? I thought I had to wrestle the whole tournament. But that's what happened. And the field at juniors was really deep, and some guys really raised their stock for sure. 57 kilos, Troy Spratley. Man, what a tournament that guy had. He's good. He's been kind of an unknown for the last year. He wrestled at this event a year ago and then did not wrestle for like 11 months.
He did pretty well last year, correct?
He was 2-2.
No. Wrong
yeah,
guy.
he was okay, but he beat Jesse Ibarra, that's a good win, but it was, 2-2. He lost to the guys who are good, but not a tournament like this. And he's just been training for the year. Looked outstanding. He drew Robbie Howard in the very first match of the entire, first match of his tournament, round of 64, and he got taken down first. Then he got a takedown. Then he got another takedown and got on top and went to work in parterre. I really like him if he's the one on our team. He's got offensive attacks on his feet. He's got parterre offense, and so.
So Figueroa lost in the quarters. I was watching this match against I think his name is Jory Volk. I've seen him forever. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And then Volk actually defaulted out the next match, and I didn't recall like a really evident injury in that match, so I don't really know what happened to Volk.
He called injury time during the match and was holding like it looked like maybe a hamstring or something something leg related, and that match did get a little scrambly. So I don't know. We got the Howard Spratley highlight up, and Robbie Howard at first it was like, okay, this guy maybe he's just gonna roll, and then good reattack there, really quick on the go behind. But
then Robbie Howard came all the way back to 3rd place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Figueroa also injury defaulted on the backside, correct?
Richie, let me take a look. I think that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, he didn't place.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not make weight day 2, so I don't know if it was injury default. And he would have had Robbie Howard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, injury defaulted to Robbie Howard. That's the match that a lot of people circled for a final, and didn't get to see it at all.
So it'd be interesting to see if those two are back by the trials, which is it's actually a month or maybe it's 5 weeks. The other thing is I feel like these brackets could be huge because I looked at the qualification procedure the other day. I'll bring it up real quick. Give me a sec. And I feel like these brackets at junior trials could be huge.
I think they could.
So hold on, I'm almost there. Okay, Central, right here, U20 eligibility. Boom, right there. Ah, dang it! I must have clicked the wrong button.
Wrong button.
I will find it for you guys. But
while you're pulling that up, I expected Spratley to do well in this bracket, but I didn't think he was gonna look as good as he did.
Mm-hmm. His closest match was a semi-final match. And who did he wrestle there?
Cooper Flynn.
Yeah, it was 3-2. And that one that one really showed off, I think, like the positioning and like the pressure that he can put on some people. I was really impressed with him. It was a close match, but he looked like he was in control kind of the whole time against Cooper Flynn.
Yeah.
He's a big.
Right, I got it for you guys. Ready?
Yeah, what do we got?
Previous world team member, previous cadet world team member, any medalist from a UWW scheduled event, top 6 place winners from Fargo last year.
Oh, wow.
Top 8 place winners from either this tournament or the last tournament, U20. Any All-American from the U23s last year. Top 4 place winners from the U23 trials. Any All-American in any division. This is the one that, like, I'm questioning whether it's actually real or not. Any All-American from the 2022 Folk Style Nationals, because that tournament we go to is not all that great. Anyone from the Senior Open, any NAIA All-American, any Junior College All-American, also Junior College Nationals, not that great. So the qualifications for this tournament is very large.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a way to incentivize just, volume of participants, and if you're trying to build your pipeline, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. The good news for these champs of this tournament is they're just sitting out, they're waiting.
Yes.
So
it does seem like, even just talking about senior world team trials, like qualifications, and then now juniors, like USA Wrestling just put way more of an emphasis on, all right, let's get people to trials. Like, let's just like open up the doors.
I don't see why. I mean, I don't really love it, because I actually start thinking, when you're with the seniors, I guess it doesn't make that big of a deal because there's no final 2 or 3. But with juniors, I mean, if the bracket gets to the 16, like, dude, those guys are minimum, 4 matches. But if it starts getting over that, they could potentially have more than that if they make the finals.
Yeah.
You remember that one year where there was a 32-man bracket? I believe Deacon was the one that made it out.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember this? It was like somehow it was like 24 people qualified at the same. I don't remember why, but it was something totally crazy.
And he beat. Is that was the year that he beat Yanni?
Yanni, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the brackets were so big, but yeah. I mean, if they are, it's going to be. Well, one thing that that USA Wrestling has tried to figure out also is how to get more people to U23s and how to get like the highest.
No one cares about U23. I don't know why.
That's the thing. But so I wonder if that's part of it, is like if you allow everybody who was an All-American at any division of college, all these guys, maybe you get more college coaches that are going there for juniors that now are going to bring a squad for U23s, or bring a handful of guys for U23s. So I wonder if that's part of it, because this year the structure of the trials events is completely different. It used to be cadets and U15s on its own separate date, and then juniors connected with the US Open.
I love the juniors and senior. So I love that the US Open puts all those things together in one building.
Yeah. So now it's like U23s and juniors together. I don't know that we've ever seen those trials at the same event, standalone event. I think this is the first time, and so maybe they're trying to get numbers up for both of those, and with the hopes of improving the quality of the U23 team. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But Spratley is interesting because I think if Pat McKee wants it, I think he could have 2 years left at Minnesota. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm looking at his wrestle stat. His freshman year he redshirted in 2019, and then he's been the starter for the last 3 years. So I believe he could take 2 years. And Spratley looks like a 25. He doesn't look like a 33, and so does McKee. So I don't know. McKee's big. Maybe they figured it out, but that'll be interesting to see what they do. But Spratley looks to me like a difference maker at the NCAA level whenever he starts.
He looks good.
I also thought Jory Volk would, raise his stock a little bit. He's going to Wyoming. Just getting that win over Richie Figueroa is a really impressive win.
But I thought he was at Wyoming. Is he not?
Nope, he was a senior this year in high school.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought he was there already.
Not yet. So that was good. Anything else crazy at 57?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing too crazy.
I think it was actually one of the least fun weight classes. Some of the other weight classes, I remember going back afterwards and saying, wait, he was in the bracket? And like just like really, really high level guys going like 1 and 2 or 2 and 2. And I didn't realize, something more like I remember on the show talking about all these guys that were in the bracket who could possibly challenge. And then honestly, I figured like some of them just didn't show up. And then, kind of going back and, oh, wait, he only went 2-2 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a bunch of guys like that. 61, Nick Bouzakis won the bracket, and good news for Ohio State fans, right? He looked good. He's part of that perhaps best recruiting class of all time, and Tech in the finals. He had a really, really close match with Garrett Grice in the semis. I think Garrett Grice is a stock up guy.
Stock up.
He looks good. He's going to Virginia from Nebraska. He's a high school senior this year. So he looked good. He beat Emilio Isigare for third. That's good get for Virginia. And he's had some really, really solid wins throughout his high school career. But I think this is probably his strongest performance in his career so far.
Yeah.
Question here.
I didn't realize Isigare beat Dean Peterson in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I was going to say, question here. Do we see Jesse Mendez go U20s for trials if he doesn't make if he doesn't make Final X, right? Does he go?
He's got to, right?
Yeah.
So then we could see Mendez versus Bouzakis for a world team trial spot.
Yeah. That's a match we've wanted to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he wouldn't. So yeah, I'm assuming we'll see him there.
Yeah, I think so. He's a guy that's not afraid of volume of competition. Last year, he made the junior world team and then rolled up to U23 trials and made the best of 3 finals. He split matches with Chris Cannon and then ended up injured in his last match. Had to have surgery. Yep. So that guy, yeah, he'll wrestle anywhere. And we'll see Mendez. Can Mendez make it to Final X? I don't know.
I would say unlikely. Not impossible, just unlikely.
Yeah, I think Megaludis is probably the matchup that it gives him the toughest.
I think I think Gross is probably a bad matchup too.
Mm-hmm.
What about NATO?
Not a great matchup.
Yeah. Okay. 61 was so deep, really fun to watch. But Bouzakis, the headliner, and Bouzakis Mendez, that would be an incredible best of 3 series. There's been intrigue around that matchup. Would have loved to see it at some point, just haven't. They've been a weight class apart. And then it begs the question, what do they do weight class wise in college? It's always, the assumption's been that it's going to be Bouzakis 33, Mendez 41. Mendez doesn't look like he struggles to make 61 kilos. He looks fine there.
Yeah. I agree. Neither one look big, but that's a weight class where I think, if they commit to the weight, that it's not that hard to get a tiny bit bigger.
Yeah, that's true. 65 kilos. The final was Vince Cornella over Caleb Larkin. And Cornella, it looks like he's made some really impressive gains in that Cornell room this year. And gotta imagine working with Yanni every day and just in that with that staff that he's had some success. And he mentioned in his interview afterwards that he had like over 30 matches this year, so he feels like he got seasoned pretty well.
In a lot. The upset here was Chittum lost to Jameson. I watched Jameson last year at the same event, and he was really impressive to me. And he kind of hammered Chittum, but then he lost to Cornell, but he comes all the way back to take 3rd place.
Yeah. Taken Jameson looks like, I don't know how he makes this weight class. He is so big.
Yeah, big and strong.
And that's the guy. Taken Jameson is the guy that Spratley credits a lot of his improvement to. They were training partners last year. Now Jameson's at Minnesota, redshirted this year. He's a guy I am very curious how he fits in for them in the lineup. Actually, I don't know if he may have taken like a gap year or something. I don't know if he wrestled any matches for Minnesota this year, but that's where he is headed.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Yeah, no matches.
Who else are we going to see at this weight class? Given that I read those procedures off, I feel like there's got to be a couple other good people who maybe weren't here. I was thinking Meyer Shapiro maybe. Maybe he's here. Who else could there be?
At 65?
Yeah.
Is he 65?
Feels like there's some other college wrestlers too that maybe weren't in the field that could be here.
Meyer Shapiro's going to be a good question about with the weight class. He was the cadet world champ last year at 65, but he wrestled up at 152 recently at the I think the journeyman event where
Oh,
he
it's Journeyman, yeah. Uh-huh.
where he beat Jackson Arrington. So that would be interesting. Casey Swiderski, I think he's training folk style, but if he wanted to throw his hat in the ring
There you
in
go.
freestyle, that'd be really fun. Um, those are the two probably on the high school side of things that will be really fun to see.
And no one else at the college level that
Let's see. I
feel.
mean, there were only a couple freshman All Americans period this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
There was let's see. Oh
We'll get
yeah,
through 141 real quick.
what was it? Who was the guy that beat Stevan, the Penn guy?
Well, Carter
CJ
Young's
Composto.
got to be eligible.
Carter Young,
'Cause-
yeah.
no, what would it be
Composto.
his because he senior trials placer last year.
hmm
That would
Yeah,
be an interesting one.
yeah, that'd be fun. Carter Young,
Hmm.
yeah, he was in the junior finals last year. He could, although I kind of think he may go 61 kilos if he wrestles.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. I
Um,
don't see anyone else at 41 that's really good. That's of that age.
hmm So 65, and then Vanderveer. We last week we were like, how is Joel Vanderveer going to make 61 kilos?
He did not.
He ended up going 65, and eighth place. He injury defaulted in that seventh eighth place match, but I don't know. I expected maybe we'd see him make a run.
Yeah, who did he lose to on the front side? He lost to
He lost to Dylan
Gilcher. That
Gilcher.
one surprised me because I knew Gilcher was good, but he's ranked. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys rank? 15, something like that in the high school
Yeah,
rankings.
yeah. So he's 17th right now.
17. So seeing him beat up on Vandiver was pretty surprising to me.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Vanderveer, he had good wins early. He beat Caleb Rachi in a fun. That match was super fun.
Oh yeah. That was early. That was like round of 32, maybe.
That's right, round of 32. He beat Ethan Miller, who's tough he's at Maryland. But Gilcher looked really good.
Not to, yeah, the other match that I was coaching, Cornella who won, Bianchi came back and made it 11-10 him and then got tilted with 20 seconds left to lose 12-11. That was a tough one.
All right, the weight you've been waiting to talk about, Ben. I think 70 kilos. Um, Dude, this was. I mean, what a crazy stock up performance for Mitchell
Yes.
Messenbrink. And it was not completely out of the blue because he looked great. We talked about his performance at the Journeyman event. He had a bunch of good wins. He killed everybody there too. Nico Ruiz, he teched Nico
Yeah.
Ruiz. Um, but he beat Panero Johnson in the finals. It's a solid win. Better wins than that though. Probably Caleb Henson and Chance Lamer. He beat along the way, and he teched everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
Take
what
that
was it?
right.
I mean, you were kind of behind the scenes. What's give us the insight? What's been going on with him?
Yeah, he's a hard worker and has had a whole bunch of things to come together, added a few new weapons to his arsenal. And I mean, honestly, like, I think maybe he looked a little worse than he was at Super 32. So that kind of um maybe made people out on him a little bit because he had a really down performance. But then, when I think you look at that down performance, Sealy and Ferrari are like number 3 and 2 in the country. So maybe people were thinking of them too lowly, and that kind of also brought his stock down.
Yeah.
And the thing, Max and I complain about this. Hey, we're complaining about you flow guys right now.
Okay.
Wisconsin guys just don't get matches during the season, so our guys just drop in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's obviously not your guys' fault, but it's just it sucks because like say a Cole Mirasola, does third place at Fargo, and I want to say his only loss this year is to McAnally.
hmm
But he is, he drops and drops and then he drops out of the rankings. And then this weekend, I think he beat two ranked guys. Like Sinclair and Connor both beat Jude Correa and a few other guys. And so just Wisconsin guys, we don't get the opportunity because of travel restrictions to, travel and compete. So our guys, we feel like just kind of as the season goes on, they drop down because everyone else is wrestling each other and moving around, and Wisconsin guys just go like this.
Yeah, I mean it happens for sure, and it's not just Wisconsin right there. Yeah, but any states like that where you're stuck, that could definitely that's probably similar with Gilcher. I know Michigan has similar kinds of restrictions. A guy like that can kind of move down, and I think that one of the things that would be most surprising to people who don't do the rankings or don't pay attention to them is how similar a guy that's like 19th and a guy that's like 6th are a lot of the times.
Yeah, for real.
Like they are. Yeah, there's so many guys that are so good and they're all right there. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it can over time if there's 3 guys that are ranked from Pennsylvania and one of them's 4th and one's 12th and one's 19th and the guy that's 19th beats the guy that's 4th, like they can all move around. They're all very close.
But then the 4 doesn't go. Here's the problem. Here's exactly what happens. Then the 4 doesn't go to 19, right? Then 19 goes to like 5, and then 4 goes to like 7. So now you have a 5 and a 7.
Yep.
And now there's a new 19, right? And then the 19 beats the 5, who was the 19. And now they're all, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of like, it feels like they all just do that. And then the Wisconsin guys just go, and just slide down the whole year.
So where's Messenbrink after this?
I mean,
maybe you guys don't put him number 1.
He's number 1 at 152. Weight. Yeah, he's number 1 at 152. It's pretty clear. He wrestled up at that journeyman event, so he was up at 60. But he's I mean this is more comparable to 52. So
is he a 57 next level?
Yeah, he's a 52 pounder and he's a 57. I'm pretty sure at Fargo he'll wrestle 52. Well, he makes a junior world team. He's not going to Fargo. And that's, obviously he's in the finals right now, so he definitely could. Who's the number 1 at 160? I'm blanking because Jordan Williams was in the bracket and he was 3rd. Number 1 was Levi Haynes, who's in the next weight class above that.
Yep.
Head.
Yeah, I think Jordan Williams. I'm gonna probably move Jordan Williams back down to 52. I don't know. It's hard to know what to do with some of these weights because 70 is in between. It's a lot closer to 52 than it is to 60. So I don't know. I got to figure that out. That's a today problem.
Hey, speaking of the Mitchell Messerbeck and Pinheiro Johnson, and this happened to one of my other guys, and I probably meant to talk about this before because this is not the first time this happened. Freestyle has unlimited injury time, as many as you want, whenever you want. It is such an obscure, ridiculous rule. I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about registering for a freestyle tournament and then just standing out there and saying, like, I want injury time, and seeing how long it takes him to like kick me out of the tournament.
Did they? I thought they cautioned and won him one time.
Not on injury. It was because he ran out of bounds.
Was it?
Yeah, but there was another one. It was another kid I was coaching. The other guy took. I think it was 3 injury times, and it was forever. I mean, it had to be somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes of injury time, and it was a different injury every time, so you kind of knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But Pinheiro specifically, and I'll call this out, he did the same thing to Mitchell last year at Fargo and knocked him out. And then I watched him in another match. He did the same thing. And then it got me curious, like how frequently does he do this? And I believe he did the same gimmick in 7 of 9 matches at Fargo last year.
Yeah.
So it's pretty common, and there should be a punishment for it, and there's not.
There's not. The other guy, I mean, it's the Musakayev strategy. And the other guy that did it, that was in the finals at not U20 but U17 was KJ Evans.
And
the funniest thing was, like, in both his match with Ladarian Lockett and his match with Joe
watch
Seeley,
that one? That match was absurd.
Did you watch? I don't know if we have the scoring highlight ready from Ladarian Lockett and KJ Evans, but
in that match, it was absurd.
The funniest part was after he's done it already a couple times, he calls injury time again. KJ does. And Ladarian Lockett, like, he runs back to the center. He's standing on the line. He looks over his shoulder and he sees that he's called injury time again. And Lockett just falls over. He's so frustrated that he has to wait again, that he's doing this again. He literally just flops to his back like he got poisoned and fell over. It was so funniest thing.
But it's so ridiculous that they can just call it as many times as they want for as long as they want, and there's no penalty whatsoever. It's absurd.
And then in the final, in the best 2 out of 3, the second match, Evans called a million injury times again, and at one point, Joe Seeley just went back to the center of their mat and just sat down.
He sat there, right?
He just like crossed his legs.
Crisscross applesauce. Yeah.
He just sat there. Like,
On the call, JD just got done saying like, man, I'm just really impressed by the maturity of Joe Seeley, and then you see him sitting in crisscross applesauce in the middle of the mat. That's a pretty good one.
But you're right. That is ridiculous. They people are just that they will take it as long as you let them. So you got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say about that. That's the UWW thing. That's not a USA Wrestling thing. This is I mean, I don't even know, like literally, I'm very curious as to if I entered a tournament, how long could I stand there for before they said, nah, you're out of here. But nope, it's unlimited. I get to keep standing here.
And what amount of like pretending do they need to consider an injury? Like, could you just, that's the other thing you got to try is like, can you just call injury time and then just when the trainer comes like, no, like just
the funniest thing was, I'm not gonna say their names, but if you're smart, you'll figure this out. The kid that was faking the injury time on the other match I'm talking about, his brother and him are both notorious fakers, and so I was very frustrated because the match right in front of me, it was like this dude is faking his third injury time or whatever, and someone in the corner, everyone's like, oh yeah, he does this all the time. And they're like, oh my God, his brother's doing the exact same thing. And they were on back-to-back mats, and both brothers were in the same faking injury position, and it was almost like it was rehearsed. It was really hilarious. Then I started laughing. Even though I was so mad, I started laughing.
That's they train at the Musakayev School of Wrestling. So
I actually, you're not the only one who observed that. I just texted you a photo.
Oh my God, I got a picture of it.
Yeah, we don't have to throw them under the bus, but it was that photo should be hanging in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
No, it happened a lot. But that 70 bracket, not to get like too far off track here, because the injury time thing was annoying, but Mesenbrink looked awesome. But listen to this. Listen to the placers at this weight that he won. So it's Mesenbrink, Panera Johnson, Jordan Williams was third, Hunter Garvin fourth, Cale Swenson, Chance Lamer, Ramon Ramos, AJ Kovacs. That is a tough bracket.
Yeah.
Listen, who got knocked out before that is you got number one in the country.
Caleb Henson.
Caleb Henson got knocked out. Herrera Rodon got knocked out. Feldman got knocked out. He's really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this bracket, Michael Killick, he's really good. I think he's like number 7. I mean, these junior weights are so fun because unlike seniors, they actually freaking show up and bring the heat. And there's a lot of really good matchups really early on.
Yeah, very good weight.
I don't know this Brock McMillan guy, but he had a crazy match with, I think, Chance Lamer really early on. And he ended up getting knocked out really early.
Brock McMillan's tough. He was, I think, a three-time state champ in PA in the AA division, so kind of smaller school. And he was always like outside the top 20 because he didn't do a ton of wrestling at like off-season tournaments, but he would just win everything in PA, but just wouldn't hit the right guys. But he's at Pitt. He's a guy that, like, if you're only looking at the rankings, you're not going to have seen his name a lot, but he's super good, and I think Pitt is really glad they had him. He was a true freshman this year, so we'll see. I think he could. Nice. I think he could end up making an impact for sure.
All right, so tell me who else could enter. So we talked about Meyer Shapiro. Who else could enter that bracket for the trials?
70 kilos. Let's see. Other guys. I mean, Jackson Arrington. Jackson Arrington would be fun. Daniel Cardenas would be really fun.
Is there any chance we see Levi Haynes go down, or him being at 74 is kind of just the message of, all right, he's just wrestling up?
I think the long-term plan for him is to get bigger and not smaller, unless they really feel like they could use him at 57 this year. But I think even if they think they may use him at 57, I don't think that's a decision they're going to make between now and June. So I would expect that he'll be 74.
Yeah, and this is why the trial, the open at these weights are so important, because you get a bye. So now, like, Mitchell's sitting out. Like, honestly, and when I mentioned those criteria, like, you could easily have a 16-man bracket at this weight class, and like, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Like, number 16 is going to be really good.
Yeah.
And so by the time whomever it is makes it to the finals, they're likely going to have they're going to be 4 matches deep. And so if they were to, they're going to be 6, 7 matches deep on the day. It's a tough day. So it's a single day, right? So they do the morning as a tournament, the afternoon is the best of 3.
I don't think so. I think
I'm
it's
pretty
three.
sure. I just looked at it.
Is that right? They do.
So,
Do they do?
yeah. I was looking for my travel schedule.
Okay.
I will
Because the
confirm
event
that right now.
the event itself is like the 3rd through the 5th, right?
So they do, yeah. So it's U23 and U20 Greco on
Oh yeah.
Friday. So they do the weigh-ins and then the finals at night.
Got it.
And then the second day they do let's see, make sure, yeah. So they do trials finals in the morning, and then they do the best 2 out of 3 at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a brutal day, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if there's anybody else that we could see in there that would be high school wise, guys like, maybe Eric Gibson could be in there. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you look at the field that's already placed, it's got to be someone really good to make it through that field of, because there's stylistically there's a lot of interesting landmines too. Between Pinheiro Johnson, Jordan Williams, and Hunter Garvin, those are 3 distinctly different styles that are tough to wrestle.
For sure. That's 70, man. Somehow it's one of the deepest weights we have right now. That's great. And we talked about it last week, but like non-Olympic weight, the junior level, it doesn't really matter. Like people are going to wrestle what they weigh.
Yes.
74 kilos. Facundo looked pretty good. His path ended up being, I don't know, maybe not the path I would have expected. But he beat Vinny Zurban in the finals. Good work from Zurban to punch through, get to the finals. That was great. Beat Nico Ruiz.
That bottom side kind of fell apart a little bit.
It really did. I mean, Levi Haynes losing early was a surprise to me. Came back and got 4th. Michael Caliendo beat him for 3rd. He really did fall apart.
Big time. And Derek Field's pretty good, but Vinny Zurban, who obviously he's had a lot of success before, but I did not foresee him making the finals of this tournament.
He beat Derek Fields. He beat Antrell Taylor. Those are both really good wins. Zurban was like, he might have been the last big board guy that was uncommitted last year. He didn't decide on Northern Colorado until I think like partway through the summer. And good pickup for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was fun. I think Caliendo looked really good. He beat Rocco Welsh last year at Fargo and ended up losing to him on the backside. They split matches, but he's looking good for North Dakota State. It was really impressive. I don't know Zeb Gnida. I don't know Zeb.
That's Matt. My brother knows. I can't remember what the connection is. My brother knows him really well. And he was in his corner. Cause one time I walked up like, Max, who are you coaching right now? He's like, oh, this is Zeb. I know his parents. I don't remember exactly what the connection is. But yeah, my brother was coaching him, and I think it was a New York connection, I believe.
Okay, Zeb. Yeah. I mean, he had the lead over Vinny Zurban like 8-4.
He blew it, I believe. What Max told me, yeah. He gives up 8 points in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So he's up 8-3. Damn.
Zeb Nita, he wrestles. He's a Dewhawk.
Oh, okay, so he wrestles for Dubuque.
Loris.
Oh, Loris
College.
Oh, but it's
Division 3.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Loris. All right. Good for Loris. Okay. Good job, Zeb. Anything else at 74?
No.
79 kilos was another really deep weight. Luca Augustine came through. He said this was his first or one of his first freestyle tournaments. But he's such a physical hand fighter. He's a massive guy at the weight. And kind of beat up Danny Wask in the finals. He beat James Rowley early on, Logan Messer, Elise Brownton, and Luca Augustine sitting in the best of 3. 79 kilos, and this was a weight
that's another one where this is one of the ones specific where I was like, these guys got knocked, like I knockboard in Rojas,
Rowley,
who's Rowley, they all got knocked out like pretty early
Hmm.
in the like 1 and 2, 2 and 2 type performances, and that's I mean it just goes to show you how deep some of these brackets are because those are guys who all have probably been top 10 at some point in their careers.
Yeah, Manny Rojas was 3-2. James Rowley was 2-2. Hunter Lydon
Kyle,
was 3-2. Antrell Taylor 2-2. Kyle Valencia didn't place. Um,
oh Matt Singleton didn't place.
mhm.
No, I'm sorry, he took eight. Wait, he took eighth,
Eighth.
seventh, eighth.
Oh, so okay. Dominic Baker was 1-2. Like these are all ranked high school guys that, like, yeah, it's just brutal,
Yeah,
brutal
for real,
bracket. But yeah, and so, out of that mix, Rocco Welsh looked good. He got third. Yeah, Singleton. This weight there was like I can't remember which round it was, like round of 32 or something like that. All of these guys. Andrew Sparks lost early.
yeah, someone was who picked Sparks to win. I feel like someone picked him to win,
JD
and he lost right away. JD did, yes.
Sparks was 0-2. He lost to Connor
JD,
O'Neill and Christopher
stay in
Ola.
Mexico.
He fled the country.
Fled the country.
Man,
JD.
yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was wild. So Danny Wask in the finals. That guy he has had an amazing 12 months of wrestling, and
Yeah, for real.
good job for him making it to the finals. But this is one where a huge advantage for Luca Augustine sitting in the finals. But if you're taking, if you're trying to decide if you want to take the guy sitting in the finals or the field, this is one where I think the field is
Field's gonna be really good, but
really freaking
I mean
good.
he looked good. He kind of hammered everyone. I mean his quarterfinal, no, sorry, semi against Brownton was I don't want to say a little, he was losing for a portion of it, but besides that, he kind of beat up on everybody.
He really did.
Yeah.
Nobody was picking him. Nobody was. I mean, I think he
Nobody.
was.
I,
JD
I
had him in this.
honestly, I wouldn't have known who Luca Augustine was. I had to look up his wrestle stat and see who
I
is this
think
dude. He had a decent year.
you mentioned his was it his quarter or semi against Brownton? I
Yeah.
think he was down 8-0 or 9-0 in that match.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then came back. I think he got a big four and a couple turns.
Yeah. So he was
But
he
yeah,
was 12-5. No like great wins on the year, but like you look at it, and he's pretty solid. He's beaten some decent guys and winning matches at the divisional level. But yeah, this is where sometimes guys come out of freaking nowhere. Um, and the college guys when they've been in the room for a little bit versus some of these really high level high school guys, some of those guys make that huge jump in that first year of college.
Yeah, for sure. And he said in his post match, he's like, man, I just I get ankle picked by Nino Bonacorsi all the time. I get he's like I get thrown by Jake Wenzel all the time. He's like that's just what I've spent the year doing, and it's kind of I don't know if he surprised himself, but it
Yeah.
sounded like a little bit.
But the other person you could see here, and this is like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what their strategy is, but Braden Thompson wrestled the senior level and placed sixth, so he's obviously qualified. But like he could have done himself a huge favor by getting the bye to the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have.
Yeah.
He's now qualified for the trials too. Maybe another guy that's going to try to get those two events in, wrestle at senior trials and then wrestle junior trials.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
86
But,
kilos was oh, so go ahead.
oh yeah, I was gonna say when you're looking at the junior trials bracket, you could have Thompson in there. Wask is going to be in there. Wask, Welsh, Barr probably will. He may jump in. Rojas, Rowley, Lydon, Taylor. All these guys are going to be qualified. So that's another way you could have a super deep bracket at the junior trials.
Yeah, the field's going to be really tough. 86 is going to be the field's going to be really tough too because I think probably the surprise champ of the tournament, Samuel Fisher.
I didn't know him either.
He in his post match he's like, dude, I was 0-5 my freshman year at Virginia Tech, and then he was 6-3. Yeah, he was 6-3 this year. But yeah, his combined NCAA record for his career is 6-8, and now he's sitting in the best of three finals. And this bracket was very tough.
Ridiculously tough.
He beat Brock Del Signore in the finals. Saldano was third, Tate Piccolo fourth, D'Anthony Parker, Nathan Haas, Wyatt Volker, and Joey Milano.
So I know Whiting is gonna wrestle at the trials.
Cool.
Yeah, I was he probably should have wrestled at the Open, but he did not. Yeah, in another bracket where TJ Stewart went 1-2, Rogotsky he lost actually to Fisher. I was watching this match. I'm like, who the hell is killing Ryder Rogotsky right now? Who is this dude?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one that I think a bunch of guys. There are a handful of guys that could jump in that are pretty good. Clayton Whiting would be fun to see him in there. Yeah, Noctiborn didn't place here, but he'd probably be back in.
Well, he was at 79.
Oh yeah, he was down, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
79. But I mean, just that those placers you read out, Del Signore, Soldano, Pickle, Parker, and then the ones that we mentioned with Whiting obviously didn't wrestle, and then TJ Stewart would obviously be qualified because of last year, and he was 1-2. Berge, Rogotsky. I think again I think a lot of these brackets are going to be really, really deep.
I wonder if we see maybe like Dylan Fishback.
He's
Maybe
Fargo
maxed
All-American,
out.
so he's qualified.
Seth Shoemate maybe jumps in the mix.
Yeah,
A bunch of guys that could make this even tougher.
yeah, definitely.
92 kilos. Jackson Smith, a really good tournament for him. I think he prefers freestyle or folk style, but as a Maryland guy, good for Maryland to have a champ, somebody sitting in the best of three, and that was nice. Silas Allred surprised me a little bit that he was in the finals. He beat Martin Cosgrove, Jack Dara. It's good wins for him. Colby Franklin was third, Caden Rogers, then Cosgrove fifth, Evan Bates, Gabe Nagel,
Yeah.
Jack Dara rounded out the top 8.
There's not really that much to jump in here because when you look at I looked at the 195 rankings. Berge wrestled 86. Sawyer Bartlett was U17. TJ Stewart wrestled 86. Colby Franklin was in here. Sasso was U17. Volker, McNelly. So there's that. Maybe Fishback. Maybe does Stout wrestle freestyle? I don't know.
He hasn't a lot, but maybe he will. I'd like to see him. I think there's a pretty good chance we see TJ Stewart move up in weight. He spent a lot of the year up, and I don't think I don't think he maybe feels like 86 was his best weight. So that would be a guy that probably moves from one weight class to the other for trials.
Yeah.
But yeah, the podium felt like kind of a lot of the best guys in this one.
Yeah.
97 was a smaller bracket. Ben Keeter over Noah Pettigrew in the finals. That's a good 1 and 2. And it didn't have probably the depth of a lot of the other brackets.
No, not even close. Who else could enter here? So would a Christian Carroll or someone want to enter or no?
Maybe. I think Christian Carroll wants to be heavyweight moving forward. So okay. I don't know if he'd want to go 97 kilos. I would love for him to throw his hat in the ring. That'd be really fun to see.
Or is there any college guys? What is Braxton Amos? Probably too old now, right?
I think he is. I think so.
Yeah, I would guess.
Probably.
Elam's probably too old. Ferrari's probably too old.
I wonder if maybe like Gavin Nelson enters from high school.
Yeah, probably Schultz. I'm looking at the NCAA bracket. Yeah, they are. I think they're younger. Bastida, maybe he's.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, maybe, I don't see anyone else on here that I think would be 20 or under because, yeah, like you said, there's not for whatever reason there wasn't a lot of younger people in the field this year.
Yeah. Heavyweight Nick Feldman. I mean, I did not expect to see him pick Ryan Boersma up and cartwheel flip him like that.
Yeah, he's amazing. But to me as a Mizzou fan, I didn't realize Ryan, and I've watched him because he's an Illinois kid and we compete against him. I didn't realize Ryan Boersma was so good. He had a couple of good wins to make the finals. And actually after Feldman had the 2-1 with Mora, I thought maybe Boersma has a chance, and yeah, he didn't have much of a chance.
Boersma he's just, he struggled a little bit with consistency this year, but yeah, he beat Chase Horn, he beat Hunter Katka, looked really good. Yeah, that's good for Missouri fans.
Yeah, his length in that semifinal match against Katka was really giving Katka a lot of problems. He'd get to that over-under body lock, and Katka didn't have an answer for it. I think he drove him out of bounds a couple times with it, maybe hit
Yeah.
hit a 4 as well. But yeah, he didn't have the athleticism against Feldman. That was really the big difference maker there in the finals.
Feldman's close match in the semis was Juan Mora. Mora is a heavyweight that had a great senior year of high school. He really came on in that senior year, and he kind of rose through the rankings a little bit, but you could tell he was a guy that was really just hitting his stride, and that year in the North Dakota State Room seems to have helped him out a lot. He ended up finishing 4th, lost to Hunter Cat kind of for 3rd, but I think Juan Mora still has a lot of room to improve, and that's a heavyweight that, no one can replace Brandon Metz, but Juan Mora, I think North Dakota State fans are going to like him.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
All right, that's
wow,
juniors.
We get close to getting through this. So
we got U17s tomorrow. We got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, that's good, because I got to watch more of those final matches. I did not get to watch all of them, so I'm glad that we didn't get to it, because what I want to start the show with, that McAnally last call third match was that was a little bit close.
There were a number of calls in that one that are insane. So yeah, we'll start with that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's start with that tomorrow.
Look at us, like we're right around 9:45.
Crushed it. JD, don't come back.
We got this, guys.
Back. You're fired.
Yeah,
we got this.
Go
hey,
team.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks a whole lot to Ben Askren, John Kozak, and thanks to you guys for listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.